Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about this article from Yahoo Finance. I will leave it in the description down below so you guys could check it out for yourselves. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm no financial advisor. I'm no expert, so don't go and do any of your stock dealings based on what I say. My portion is just opinion-based and on stuff that I'm hearing. So from Yahoo Finance, investors heavily search T-Mobile US. Here's what you need to know. So there's a bunch of stuff in this article. Like I said, I will leave it in the description down below. So T-Mobile right now themselves, they're invested in positioning the company for success. That was the whole reason, the whole point for the merger. And now they're repositioning the company to continue to grow, right? So we recently, we had the job cuts, more layoffs happened. And, we're likely to see more layoffs from what I'm being told from different departments. Everybody's going to get hit. And it's just T-Mobile making the moves to position themselves to be better, better positioned, better prepared for whatever could come in the future. Further competition from perhaps Verizon and AT&T, the recession. It could be, impacting more of their business. So that's what T-Mobile is trying to do in terms of positioning themselves for the win. And investors are taking notice and they're taking a liking. And that's really what this article here is displaying and telling us, that T-Mobile is now the most heavily searched stock according to Zacks.com's list. So that's what you have to pay attention to, right? You got to look at the numbers. You got to look at how the market is, moving and what they're liking and going towards. And in the wireless space, they are going for T-Mobile. So you got to take notice of that, right? Like I say, most of the stuff that I say, I look at the numbers. I look at how things are going overall and what it's shifting towards. And like I say, the market share, the trajectory, the projections, it's all gearing to T-Mobile winning and having a successful business model. Recently, Mike Siebert was asked, what's next for T-Mobile, because they've already conquered a bunch of stuff in terms of the merger integration and stuff. And he says, next for us is making T-Mobile a profitable business model. So that's what they're in the process of doing. So yes, brace yourself for more job cuts. Brace yourself for some fee increases and whatever else, they can do to better benefit the business. That's what T-Mobile is going to do. So if you guys watched the video where I said within the next 12 to 18 months, T-Mobile is to become a powerhouse, if you noticed and if you stuck around to the end of that video, not once did I say they would have the best network. They are going to be a powerhouse of a company because they are going to use a playbook that they won with the last decade. And the last decade, they clearly did not have the best network as well. Now they're going to have a growing network, a better network at scale. And that right there is a scary thought for Verizon and AT&T. Never mind the fact that they may not want to get into a pricing war with T-Mobile, right? Lower their prices. Never mind the fact that Verizon may not want to compete against T-Mobile. All that, to me, is just a sign that T-Mobile is going to continue winning. Now, you can take that as you want, but I look at the numbers, then I look at the future projections. I look at this third quarter, that these numbers that we're going to get, the quarter's about to close very soon. And then towards the end of October, we will get the third quarter numbers. And, I can already see T-Mobile doing another raise and beat. They're going to beat the numbers. They're going to raise guidance. And then we head into the fourth quarter, right? Verizon will have no momentum. They're taking a loss. And that's on the business side. Like I said, never mind the fact of the networks. Verizon's set to take a loss. The CEO came out and said so. I've seen the numbers, like I tell you guys. I've seen the updated nationwide market share numbers, and AT&T will continue to on their growth path as well, especially on business, from what I was told on the call yesterday. So that's what they're dealing with right now. Verizon will have to figure out how to dig themselves out of that hole that they're in. T-Mobile will continue positioning themselves in a way that's going to make them successful, right? Sometimes in life, there's good timing and there's bad timing. Right now, the timing is bad for AT&T and Verizon to be positioned the way that they are. And right now, it's good timing for T-Mobile to be positioned the way that they are currently, right? The pricing is still lower. They have far less debt, almost double less debt versus AT&T and Verizon. So they are positioned much better to react and to further compete in case Verizon does drop prices in line with T-Mobile. I don't foresee that happening per se. I do see a price drop coming, but not necessarily in line with T-Mobile. But that rule push, and I'll close out the video on this for those of you who stuck around. That rule push that T-Mobile is doing, and I say this with a lot of sincerity, that rule push is vicious. Now, you may have not seen that yet in your neck of the woods, but I can tell you guys with the most confidence, this rural United States push from T-Mobile, as it currently stands, is vicious. They're putting up co-location, new sites. They're going to do so at an accelerated pace in 2023. They are going to compete on a native footprint very viciously at scale very soon. And I can tell you guys, it's a problem for Verizon and AT&T the way that they are currently positioned at their current pricing, at the current business model, with the current customer service model. It's a scary sight. The way that T-Mobile just moves in, they add one store and pour it out to 20-0, 22-1. I mean, it's that bad. And for Verizon and AT&T to still not be reactionary, a lot of people I see in the comments are saying, well, if they're not reacting, then they must not be worried. I can tell you guys right now, they're looking at these numbers and it's worrisome. It has to be. They're just being stubborn at this point. But I can guarantee you guys that T-Mobile rule push is vicious. And like I said, again, in this entire video, I did not say they would have the best network, and they won't. But they're going to have a good enough network to be disruptive, even in these rural parts. And they're going to use the same playbook that they did, and they were disruptive in the top 50 and the top 100 markets, and they're moving with that same playbook into these small markets and rural towns. So stay tuned to the channel for more. Like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See you in the next one. Peace.